All right, what's up, everybody? Here I got my buddy John Moore. What's up, John?
How you doing?
I'm good, man. How about you?
It's great to see you, Max.
I know it's been too long. I'm trying to think the last time I saw you. Was it
Um,
at that conference with the state fair thing?
I think so. Kelly, my wife and I came out to see you in Stillwater.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
But before that, it was at the county fair convention.
Sure, that's right. I'm actually in Stillwater again this Friday. So if
Awesome.
you're bored. But yeah, how's
Yeah.
you still playing a lot? You gigging?
It slowed down a lot. I just had to change. I was spread too thin.
Yeah, no, I feel you. Yeah,
So
so John here, he plays in a Boston tribute band, right? That's full time.
yeah, yeah.
And
Called Lookin Back.
looking back, yeah, how many have you guys been doing quite a bit of shows this year or
We did. It's been a fun ride, and there hasn't been a lot of shows, but the shows that we've have really, like, each one has been a stair step to the next one. It's been really
sure,
interesting.
more quality than quantity, would
I
you
think
say?
so. Yeah, because you don't know whether people are gonna dig it. I mean, you think that you're onto something,
Right.
but then, if you advertise a ticketed show and you have nobody show up, then
Yeah.
maybe you were wrong.
Yeah, dude. I know we've all been there.
Right.
Have you guys had good success just doing the Boston tribute as a whole? Like
Yeah,
just
I
that
think
music?
so. Yeah, I think so. And like I said, I was spread thin. I was doing a cover band that was doing 4 to 6 shows a month.
Right.
I subbed in for somebody else, another band, and then I was trying to
A
do the
lot.
Boston thing, and then I was like, "What?" I said yes to all this stuff. Like, how's this gonna work? It
Yeah.
doesn't,
Yeah,
you
because you were
know.
in Varsity Rejects for how long?
Just I think a hair over 3 years,
Okay.
and that was
Okay.
such a fun gig. Those are just great guys, so that was
Yeah.
that was a blast. But it's hard to juggle all of it.
No, I get
And
it.
and and then you think because you're in a working band and you're doing, 4 to 6 shows a month, that it's just gonna make you better in all these other aspects that
Right.
of your playing, and it's like, "Oh, yeah, I'm showing up." I like to have my homework done. I don't wanna be that guy,
Yeah. Well,
you
I
know?
know you. Yeah, I know you nail that Boston stuff, like note for note. So I mean, you do a
Yeah,
damn
it
good
was
job
fun, and
doing
we
it.
we were doing, well, I don't know if you have an agenda or a schedule you wanna follow and talk about certain things, but
Man,
yeah, the
this is whatever
Boston
we
thing.
want to talk about, man.
It's been good. I started with, the Boston Looking Back gig was not my first choice, actually, and by that
Sure.
I mean, like, we were the band Generation Rock, and just for kicks, like, I went and dug out, like, all these old set lists of all this stuff. I just think it's so funny to go back in time and see, we were
Do you
doing.
save them all from every single show?
I think so. It's probably just I don't intentionally set out to do it, but I think it just kinda, they're just sitting here in a pile in my studio, and
Yeah, adds
sometimes I
up.
go back because you wonder, like, I wonder what have I done this song? Have I done that song before? But we were doing, I've been through Satriani, Def Leppard, Sammy Hagar, Elton John, Hart, Bryan Adams, Journey, Sting, Rolling Stones. I mean, Van Halen.
Yeah.
It was
And I think that's like, as far as tribute bands for me, I don't think I could do a tribute band, honestly. I mean, I did the AC/DC one for a little bit, but I'm kind of a wild card when it comes to music. I just
yeah,
like
yeah.
too many things, so like, because I could be going from a Dolly Parton song, to a Testament song that I know we both
I
like
think you're
Testament.
just really good, dude. You could do anything you want, and I think what you're doing now is I like your first podcast
Chase?
With Chase was really good. You guys
Oh,
talked
thank you,
about
man.
some really great things, but you talked about bringing your flair and your uniqueness to it in the way that you are with the sounds that you bring to it, and that you're no one else is doing that. Whether it be a beach vibe or the Dick Dale Strat sounds, I mean, yeah,
No, it's
you do
fun.
you.
It's fun. Like a lot of the Dick Dale, like the surf guitar stuff. It's like thrash metal, man. Honestly,
Yeah,
it's just like clean tone with a ton of spring reverb, and you just have at it. You just ripping on that E string. It's fun.
yeah, yep.
But
We used to have a reverb tank, and it
oh
looked like
yeah,
an amplifier head, and it just plugged in through
sure.
the effects loop. And if you dropped it or whacked it while it was sitting on top of your amp, it made this horrendously loud clang. But
Yeah,
there was nothing better than that drippy, wet,
I know. I
massive
love it,
spring
man.
reverb. It's so
I
cool.
I seen those boxes you can get, and you can just kick them. You seen? I
Yeah,
can't remember what
right.
they're called, but like, yeah, you just kick them. It's like, like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
that was badass. Well, no, yeah, the first time we met each other, I was just thinking of this the other day. I
Yeah.
know you bought your store in North Branch, so right? You had that music
Yeah, do
store?
you know that I think if we do the math, we've known each other for almost 10 years.
I know, that's wild. Yeah, I mean, I was probably what year did
So I
you get the store in North Branch?
think I think it was around 2015-ish, 2016.
Okay,
I
I
was
was gonna
down in
say that.
Texas on a job opportunity I was pursuing down there, and when I moved back to Minnesota, it was around that time frame,
Okay. Yeah,
you know?
so I'll just tell the story quick. So yeah, me and my family were sitting at Pizza Pub, and my I think my parents were there drinking with some friends and all hanging out, and I'm 15, 16 years old. I can't drink yet. I'm just sitting there staring at the menu that I already ate off, like eating food. I'm done. And I'm like, you know what? There's a new music store across the street. I'm gonna go and check it out. And I walk in, a couple guitars on the wall. I remember that silver Marshall Jubilee you had sitting in
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
And, yeah, and
It's
you were
right
you were
behind me
behind the
still.
counter. Yeah, right there, yeah, sir, yes, sir. And, yeah, and I introduced myself with, like, a little punk ass 15-year-old kid, like, "Hey, my name's Max," you know? And, yeah, you're super cool to me right off the bat, and, just talking to, like, a young kid like I was a grown ass man, which was cool of you, and to make your day, look what I got. Remember
Oh,
this?
man, that's awesome.
Yes, sir. So for you guys who don't know, this sheet of paper that John gave me freaking changed my life. It's the just
Hey, that's
minor
my writing
scales
on
and the
there.
it is, man. That's your writing. I still
That's
got it.
fantastic.
That's all your modes and stuff. And yeah, this is literally how I learned how to play guitar, dude. So honestly, you're probably one of the biggest music influences I've had because without that piece of paper, dude, I don't even know that I'd be where I'm at right now because that
I
changed
think
my
you would
life,
be.
dude.
I'll tell you that the connections that you make as a teenager at that young age
Yeah.
with other musicians, other people in the industry, whether it's people you play with, people that service and help you from a store or product perspective. I mean, and people, industry professionals, the production side, the touring side, the business side, the agent side. I mean, all of those things. I have vivid memories
Yeah.
of everyone that I've ever met. You know, and
Firsthand for
it
me, man.
matters.
Firsthand.
That's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally taught me how to solo, and for those non-guitar players, it's basically just a bunch of dots where you put your fingers, and it's different positions to learn how to solo, and you take those positions and form them together, and that's what I sat in my room doing for about a year, and, yeah, I still have that piece of paper. I made photocopies of that thing. I probably made 30 copies of that when I was teaching other kids guitars, and I was like, "Don't even waste your time trying to do anything else, like, here's this piece of paper, photocopy it, boom, learn it," you know?
Perfect.
So
Did you have a lot of students?
not really. I mean, there was a handful, maybe 5 or 6 that I was teaching at one point, but I
Yeah.
just, it's hard to teach kids who aren't inspired to wanna play. I mean, you can teach and as you can teach them the same D chord every single week, but if they don't take it home and practice, it's not gonna get anywhere.
See, I think that's why you're good. Like, you're just good. I know you are because you didn't have to have anybody push. Like, somewhere in you, you fell in love with the instrument and you made what you made of it. And, I had a lot of students. I had 30 students
Really?
during that time. Yeah, it was really,
Wow.
on the business side of things to the store, like I said, I came back from Texas and I had a big kind of job opportunity, career startup company. There was an obscene amount of pressure, an obscene amount of money involved in it, and a lot of hours and time, but it didn't work out. So when I came back, I thought, well, let me look for another job and what I was doing. But in the meantime, you know,
Yeah,
what
right.
what's going on here? Like I was renting a home and I thought I'd open a store, some of the business side things you might not know, but John at Eclipse Music in West St. Paul is absolutely fantastic. And he always has been. And that was like one of my first jobs out of music tech in 1993, 94-ish was
Okay.
working for his dad,
Oh,
Mike
really?
Justin at Eclipse
Wow.
Music. Yeah. So when I decided that I wanted to open a store, I get all these ideas, but I'm not sure if I can do it. And I walked into that coin shop,
Yeah, yeah, I
and
remember
I
that, yeah.
actually I went to school for like I went to college twice, right? But I went to school for business and marketing, and I walked into his store and I was like, there's like all this space, he's got all this stuff spread out, and there's a ton of space. I'll bet we could share a space,
Yeah.
And so that was part of being able to start it was I never would have been able to afford,
So did you just walk
buy
in
a
there?
place.
Did you just walk
I
in there
literally
randomly
just
and
walked in and started a conversation with Dave. I was like,
hmm,
here's who I am. This is an idea I have. And I showed him a sketch that I'd drawn the day before and showed him
right.
a picture of a shitload of guitars. And so then when he seemed like he was interested in partnering, and sharing rent and whatever, I went to John at Eclipse because I had my own inventory. Which, like you said, the Silver Jubilee is
Yeah.
right behind me still,
Right.
and I still have some guitars that I would never part with, but to make the store seem full,
Sure.
I put all my own stuff up there,
Right. Yeah,
you
might
know.
as well.
But then I went to John and he had, 2 to 300 guitars. And I worked out a consignment agreement with him. And I also worked out an agreement to purchase some of his used instruments and used things so I can have something in the store that'd be worth it for people to come and see. And then I doubled down on all the knowledge that I already had. And
Mhm.
I bought a bunch of tools to fix stuff. So that was the model. It was either going to make less money from lessons, could make money from sales, and it became an all parts dealer and some other things to get accessories and strings and all the things that people need. And then I had the consigned guitar inventory, and I became an EMG dealer. And there were some guys that came in to have a bunch of EMG pickups installed and some BC Riches and just
Yeah, I
just a
remember that.
whole variety of things like that. And even I didn't care. I had nothing but time. I didn't care if it was $100 guitar and I had to level and redress the frets. Like it didn't matter. I
Right.
was gonna that was gonna be the best $100 like guitar that somebody was gonna buy.
Yeah, I mean, I remember bringing some of my guitars to your shop too to work on, and they always came out good. I just remember bringing
Yeah,
my Dean Razorback. You had all like these other
yeah.
normal guitars, I would say, and then I remember
I
bringing
remember we
in
had a
my
white tiger stripe one too. I think
yeah, it's right on my wall still.
perfect.
There,
Yeah, that's it.
there she is. Yeah, I gotta get this thing
Yep,
rolling again, guy.
nice.
And
Yeah, yeah.
but yeah, 2015. Yeah, it was like 10 years ago now, huh?
Uh,
Do you ever think about opening anything else up again, or is that ship sailed?
Really, I mean, I don't think so. It was just something that, I wasn't sure where it would go. And, the house we were renting, that person decided to put it up for sale. So we were like, oh crap, now what? Now we have to move.
Hmm.
So we moved to White Bear Lake.
Yeah, and you've been there for how long now?
I've been
Eight
in White
years?
Bear since 2020,
Wow.
moved around a little bit, but I'm in a forever home now.
Yeah.
You know, I had to move a little bit for some other reasons, but yeah, I probably wouldn't do a store again because it really the store. So here's what the store helped me with. I had those students. Look at that.
Look at
That's
that,
cool.
man.
That's a cool picture. That Strat that's down that you can kind of see the
Yep,
body of.
right
Yeah,
there.
down in the bottom. Um, there's a really cool story about that Strat actually, and that's hanging on my wall upstairs.
Yeah, feel free to
I'm a huge Richie fan. I love Richie Sambora. I
sure.
always have. I was born in New Jersey. I'm a Jersey kid all the way, and I moved here when I was like 15. But um, we used to go to Asbury Park and hang out on the beach and the boardwalk, and hope that we would see Bon Jovi walking around.
Yeah,
Like the band.
right.
It wasn't just John. We were infatuated with all of them, and they were on tour. They were out, and they were in Europe by that time.
Sure.
Their album already went platinum. They were far away from Asbury Park, but I wanted a Richie Sambora Strat, and I made like $3.95 an hour at the job that I have. So there's no way I could have afforded a Sambora Strat. And I'll change names to protect the innocent. But so this was back in 1994. I bought a wine red Les Paul Studio
Okay.
with gold hardware
Yeah, it's the best, man.
off of Mike from Mike's Butcher Shop in West St. Paul. And the guitar was beautiful. Like I can still imagine the beautiful wine red wood grain and the gold hardware. It was absolutely fantastic. And I bought it for like $300. Hated the way it played. And back then I was just I don't know, too young and dumb to know like how to set it up and how to get the best out of it. And I
Sure.
think the nut now retrospect, the nut probably needed to be filed down. I just didn't have the wherewithal to know how to do it back then. So I worked for a Fender dealership And in order to be an authorized, I still have my Fender certificate back on the wall.
Yeah, it's awesome.
In order to be an authorized Fender service center, you had to achieve like certain levels. You could be like bronze and silver and gold or whatever. And so I became a silver level apprentice to be able to fix things at a higher level on behalf of the store. So our store was a silver level authorized service center. So if you had to do certain things to guitars that would be over an hour's worth of labor,
Hmm.
you had to call into Fender and get an approval. So I developed a relationship with the guy that I would call in and get approvals to work on all these guitars, and I would talk to him like every day, sometimes twice a day. And he would give me authorization numbers, and I would just sit there and work on guitars. It could be a warranty claim, it could be anything. And one day I told him about this wine red Les Paul, and he goes, "Well, so back then, right?" He's like, "Well, can you send me some pictures of it?" Right? So get a Polaroid camera, right? And I take these pictures of this guitar and I put it in an envelope and I mail it to him. And he calls me like 2 weeks later and he's like, "Dad, I gotta have it." He goes, "I will put together any Fender that you want. And you can and you give me that guitar and I'll give you any Fender." And he works for Fender.
Sure.
So I was like, I will take
Yeah,
that deal
take that
all
up.
day long.
Yeah.
That's so I told him I wanted a Sambora. And he goes, "I can't do the signature, but I can do a lot of the features of the signature." So he did the sunburst body with the rosewood neck, and then they didn't. So back then it wasn't a Floyd Rose. It was called a Fender Floyd, or Fender called it like a Fender One.
Sure.
And I used to have one laying around here, but it's upstairs. But anyway, it's a floating tremolo, but it's miniature, and it's made by Floyd Rose, and Fender had it for a while.
Okay.
And so he put that on there with a humbucking pickup, 2 single coils, and then he sent it to me. And he sent it to the store. Like I got this guitar and I was so excited like a kid at Christmas, and I opened the box up and it's exactly what I wanted. It was that guitar in the picture. It was so cool. So
Yeah.
then I cased up the wine red Les Paul and sent it out to him, and he's been happy with it.
No, that's
And I
awesome.
got my Sambora, Strat.
I think I found a video here. Let's see. Creeping on your stuff. Is that it? Right there?
That's it. 100%.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's if you look to the tremolo, that's a locking Floyd Rose tremolo. But it's just, if you
And it's
look, it's
that
like
tiny.
miniature size. Yeah.
And it's not floating or anything?
It floats,
It does
yeah.
float? Okay.
Yep.
Wild. So it's like the same pickups and stuff too?
I've changed the pickups like probably 12 times.
What? Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a JB in the neck. It used to be called the Bill Lawrence XL 100, I think, or the XL 500. The Bill Lawrence made the XL 500 that you can buy in the Stuart McDonald catalog,
Sure.
and they became the Dimebag Darrell,
Oh,
pickup
really?
of choice.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. And now I think they just call them the Dime, or I don't remember what company picked them up and
I
had
think
them.
it's Duncan. Like the Dime
Yeah.
Bucker one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the Dime signature pickups, in my opinion at least, but the Dime signature pickups are all based off that Bill Lawrence XL 500.
Interesting.
If you look at the real early interviews with, I remember like Guitar for the Practicing Musician or whatever, the interviews would come out and I'd be like, "Oh God, he's using a Bill Lawrence.
Sure.
I've got 3 of those," like
That's
the
awesome.
original ones.
That's funny.
And that pickup combination in that guitar from that picture, there's a guy named Rockin' Chippy.
Rockin' Chippy. Okay.
Rockin' Chippy. Do you know that name? Rockin'
No, I
Chippy?
don't.
He's on Instagram and he's always posting like, I don't know, like his G.I. Joe collection along with this impeccable, amazing guitar collection. He's just a cool,
There it is right
interesting guy
there
to follow.
at Rockin' Chippy.
Yeah. Yeah. So
That's
I
sweet.
don't remember what I said, but I responded to an Instagram post that he put out, and I won those pickups.
No way. Actually? All right.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah, he
whatever
shipped
works.
them to me.
Whatever
It was,
works.
it was so cool.
Who got you inspired to start playing guitar when you were younger?
Probably
Or who was like your favorite band?
no, the inspiration came from my cousins in New Jersey. Had a band called Jonathan's Rock Chamber, and their
Okay.
lead singer's name was Jonathan. And my cousin Tom played guitar, and my cousin Steve played drums, and they were in the same band together, Jonathan's Rock Chamber. And then many, many years later, in a box of cassettes sitting right next to me, I dug through it and I found their original Jonathan's Rock Chamber cassette tape. that they had as like a demo. And
Okay.
then I uploaded my YouTube channel is horrible. Like it's just there's no you'd think that, as much of a marketing guy as I am, I'd have this impeccable, great YouTube channel, but it's not.
Yeah,
But
it's like me
anyway, the
too.
Jonathan's Rock Chambers uploaded
Hmm.
that cassette. I uploaded that to
Really?
my
Okay.
YouTube channel because I just thought, I needed a place to keep it, so I have to dig out a cassette tape and listen to it.
Right.
But I would say that my cousin Tom for sure because um, he was the first guy had like a Marshall half stack
Oh,
and
he
a
had all the
Fender.
stuff, like the cool stuff.
Yeah, he still got that stuff today. He had a
Wow.
JCM 800 with a 4x12, and then he just had a foot switch, and he would switch between the Marshall and a Fender Twin that was, I think, 100 watts, and that
Sure.
was dirty and clean,
It's
just back and
A B
forth,
it.
and it was cool. I would say there's little moments like, hanging out at the basement of their house while they were having rehearsals. And I didn't even have a guitar then. I didn't even know I wanted to play guitar. I just knew that I liked what they were doing, you know?
And then as far as
And
like when you were starting to learn to play guitar, what was like the first biggest kind of band that got you into like inspired to play?
it was, I can tell you exactly because when I go visit my cousins, I had another cousin too. He got a guitar for Christmas. I don't know if I get it completely right, but he got a guitar for Christmas and just didn't take to it. He
Sure.
didn't play it. Didn't really. I don't know what happened, but
Happens a lot.
my my mom bought that guitar off of my aunt and then put it underneath the Christmas tree for him. But while I was before I even knew any of that, I was over at his house. I would go spend a weekend with them, and I'd get over there early. I was waiting for him to get done with school, and I started playing cassettes. And it was Ronnie James Dio with Vivian Campbell as the guitar player. So
Sure.
songs like "We Rock" and
Mhm.
all that, everything that came out of that. So that and Blizzard of Oz, hands down. Like I can tell you, I was sitting third row in the school bus in 1984 with the cool kid in the front row seat with the boombox, and he pressed play, and then I Don't Know came on. Blizzard of
That's
Oz
sweet.
started. It was
Yeah.
just a Randy Rhoads, just fantastic.
It's
I never
ripping.
heard anything like that. Those two things, Vivian Campbell and Randy Rhoads, I never heard anything like that ever. I mean, my mom exposed me to disco or something that was so,
The Bee Gees,
like Rhinestone
ABBA.
Cowboy by like Glenn
Yeah.
Campbell. I used
There
to
we go.
love that
Yeah.
song.
Yeah, yeah.
But when I heard those guys, and then I used to sneak into my sister's room. My sister's 5 years older than me, and
Sure.
and like as a 10-year-old, you don't want to be sneaking in your 15-year-old sister's room when she's not home because she's gonna beat your ass.
Well, yeah.
She finds out.
Yeah.
So, but I used to go in her room, and she had records and 8 tracks, and it was Cheap Trick and Def Leppard Pyromania and Billy Joel and Journey and
And this was like
a lot of
1984,
that.
85 in there?
Yeah, probably. I don't remember when Pyromania came out, but yeah, probably sounds about right.
Okay.
Around that age 12,
Sure.
kind of.
And a
And I
cassette,
just
that's like
listened to it. I didn't
sure.
have a guitar yet. Didn't even know. I thought I was going to be a drummer.
Really?
I heard Rick Allen drumming on Pyromania. I'm like, that is fantastic. I got to do that.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like using 2 of my limbs hard enough. I don't know if I could do 4, but, maybe.
I can't. I got one beat. I can play any AC/DC song there is, I think.
Yeah.
Just that one and
I
two
know,
and
1,
three.
2
You know,
right, that's about all I
I'm a
can do.
guitar player. I can't count. We can't count. Can't
Nope,
fool
nope.
anybody.
No, no, that's funny. Yeah, I think AC/DC was, like, the first band I kinda got into, and I think that's, like, how I learned my guitar chords and stuff, instead of, like, actually, because I never really had a guitar teacher, so if I wanted to learn, like, an A and a D chord, I'm already halfway to Back in Black or something like that,
Yeah,
so I
sure.
would just, learn them that way, and yeah, I don't know.
I think that's cool that you can do that. You're like a sponge. You pick that stuff up like that.
But it's weird though.
We
Oh,
had
was
to
that
do that only because like back in the day it was like, the radio would play the song every 4.5 hours. So,
right.
you listen to the radio for your song to come around again. And when it came on, you had to intently listen to it because it
Sure.
was over in four minutes. And it was
Or
like,
hit
oh crap, how do
record.
I play that?
or hit record and be ready to hit record
If you could, yeah, yeah.
if you're
And
on
a
it.
record, same thing. You can't pick up the needle and move it to the exact spot of the solo that you're trying to learn. You
Sure.
know,
No, that makes
but
sense.
those things, I think that probably helped you. That type of thing by you learn
Yeah.
by listening instead of always like tab, which is not always correct. You
Yeah, I
know,
mean, you know, honestly, dude, goes back to this.
yeah,
You figure out what song like a key is in, and you kind of mess around with those boxes, and that's literally what I was doing. I was like, okay, this song is in,
yeah,
E minor, and that's in this box, and I would kind of figure out what he's doing, kind of like replicate it. And I think, kind of having a template of where to go, where to put my fingers, and I just kind of, oh, it sounds like it's here, it sounds like it's here, and slowly kind of put it together and having like a template of where I can go with it, definitely helped me. But yeah, I don't know.
yeah.
It's funny. I'm playing a song with the school band tomorrow night, and the band teacher reached out to me. She's like, "Oh, do you want to do this song?" And it was like a knockoff, like Trans-Siberian Orchestra type thing. So I'm like, "Yeah, sure, I'll help out and play guitar on it." And she's like, "Oh, perfect." She's like, I know you're a good musician, blah, blah, blah. You can sight read it really easy. Here's all the sheet music for it, you know? It sends me the
Yeah,
PDF
yeah,
file. I'm like, oh, shit. Sheet music. I can't do it, man. I was
yeah, yeah.
looking at it. I'm like, God, I had to like put it into AI or something and like transcribe it. But luckily it was on Songster. So I got to get the tabs for that. Thank
Perfect.
God. But man, I can't do sheet music either.
Yeah,
Horrible.
sometimes it's just a roadmap, though. You don't
Right.
have to necessarily read it note for note. You just kind of like familiarize yourself with like the map or the route that you're going to take
Mm-hmm.
to get there.
Right.
That's all it is. You know that there's a chord change coming up on whatever, and.
Yeah. Are you when you see other guitar players, what's your take on like a cover band solo? Like obviously, so like, I know you were in your Generation Rock. Are you still doing that, or is that
Well, so that
hiatus
those 5 members of Generation Rock morphed into
into the
Lookin
Boston thing?
Back.
Okay,
Yep, and then we
gotcha.
added 2 more members. Yep.
Sure.
So
So
kinda,
do you
we're
guys do
doing
any
Gen
cover
Rock under a new
gigs?
name.
Do
Not
you
anymore,
do any
really.
cover gigs? No. Okay, that makes
With
sense.
Varsity, everything was covered with Varsity. That was
So
fun.
what's your take on guitar players? So like for me, I get yelled at quite a bit for not learning solos note for note. I get the gist of them down, the main
Yeah.
sections, but if all the little noodly parts, some people will get on my ass and they're like, "Oh, you got to learn it note for note." But
Oh, whatever.
I mean, is that what you say too? Because that's what I say.
Yeah, maybe I'm spoiled, because, Varsity Rejects and Trent's a great guy, and
Yeah,
he
no,
was a
he's awesome,
great
man.
band leader to work with, because he would just, "Johnny, you do you." And
Hmm.
we were doing like a Dua Lipa and some dance stuff, and there's no
Yeah.
guitar in that,
Oh yeah,
but
easy.
he didn't care if I embellished and kind of
Your own kind of
made it mine.
right. No, that's
I
cool.
do think, that I've never been, I've always been a fly by the seat of my pants kind of player. Like
Sure.
I've never really sat down and worked anything out until we recorded an original album. And then I sat down, I intentionally wanted to be deliberate in what I played. And then in the Boston project, you can't wing that
No, no, like that
because,
would be a note
you
for
know,
note thing.
yeah, and the cool thing about a couple of things about the Boston project is as Generation Rock, we got invited to play a gig one time, and we were just burning out, in the bar scene, the covers,
Sure.
and I love Separate Ways and I love Journey, but I don't want to play Separate Ways by Journey anymore.
Right. Right.
We played it a
That's
thousand
like
times.
that's like my
It's just
Sweet Child of Mine. Every time I have to play Sweet Child, I'm like,
hundred
oh, I got to
percent.
put my happy face on. Got to smile. Here we go. It's like,
Yeah,
like, oh
right, right.
god, yeah,
And so we told the venue we were happy to play the gig. We played there many times before, but what we'd like to do is we'd like to do 3 45-minute sets. We're gonna do 45 minutes of variety, then we're gonna do 45 minutes of Boston, nothing but Boston. And then we're gonna come back in and try to get the audience back engaged in it. Another 45 minutes of hits, right?
sure. So
That's not
what made
Boston.
you guys choose Boston as a tribute?
It
Who
wasn't
decided
it
that?
wasn't my first choice. It wasn't
Right.
my first choice. Um, I was probably maybe I was wrong actually. But my everybody was tired of playing bars and playing the same old songs.
Yeah,
And but we still got together to rehearse. So
sure.
then we were just at rehearsal and it's like, what do you want to play? I'm like, well, let's play some more Boston. And I was like, okay.
Just kind of
Like when your drummer, your bass player, and our phenomenal keyboard player, Tim Coyne is fantastic. Like I think like he's from a different planet, right? And on his planet, everyone is a fantastic musician, and he's just like one of the boys there. But
sure.
then you
Yeah.
take him and put him in art. Like he's got I don't know 3 or 4 keyboards.
Oh
He's
man,
got great guitars. He knows tone. He knows delay. He's just a very smart, intelligent player. He
good
can
guy to
pick
have in a
stuff
band.
up. He's fantastic. But when your drummer, your bass player, your keyboard player, like when your entire backline says we want to do Boston, you're like, I
The
guess we're
singers,
gonna
the
do
singers,
Boston.
the singers a shit out of luck at that point.
Well, kind of. We thought we decided so we're 5 piece, right? We're Generation Rock. We thought,
Hmm.
well, everyone will sing, you know? We'll all sing. Because
Yeah.
that's the first question. You'll play Boston, people are like, who's gonna sing it? I'm like, everyone. So we started to say that everyone would sing, and then we started to rehearse that way. But we realized there were so many parts to it that we needed a musical director. Maybe we needed another guitar player, and
Sure.
we wanted a lead vocalist to partner with Karen, our lead vocalist from Gen Rock. So we added 2 more members who double duty as guitar and vocals, music director, and vocal director.
Yeah,
So we
that's good.
brought in more members of it. And then it wasn't until I resigned from Varsity Rejects to just concentrate on the Boston thing full time that it really suctioned together because there was this glue that was kind of missing because I it was my
Hmm.
fault probably. There's a
Sure.
lot of blame to go around with 7 members, but I will say that it was tough to concentrate on the intro. You asked about my take on bar bands and cover bands and not nailing things signature licks correctly or nailing them. On the Boston stuff, like if you got 200 people that paid $30+ a ticket to see Boston or,
Yeah.
or our version of Boston, you better nail the signature parts.
Right. And better do it
If
well
you
too.
screw
You
up,
know.
yeah, if you screw up more than a feeling, forget it. You might as well just, you know, you
Yeah,
better quit.
you're getting something thrown
Yeah.
at you for sure.
So we expected our usual. So here's a huge following of Gen Rock, right? We expected our usual 30 to 45 people to be at this American Legion that we were proposing to do the 3 sets.
Okay.
We expected our normal 50 or so people or regulars to be there, and over 100 people showed up,
Oh, I thought you were gonna
and
say
there
like
were a
7.
lot of over 100 people showed up, and a lot of them were Boston fans, and some of them pulled out their phones and were literally showing me pictures of them with original members of Boston. I met this guy, and let me show you. It was so cool. And there were
Huh.
other musicians in the crowd. Like musicians came out to see us play. Which,
Yeah, I
come
mean
on,
it's not.
when does that happen?
Well, I know. Well, and it's
Yeah,
not easy stuff to play, and a lot of people don't play that stuff, you know? So I think when it's different, and I think that's a hard thing with like separating yourself with bands, especially around here. There's a lot of the same stuff, you know. So you kind of have to like figure out what's different. And I think that's why I've had good success with my thing because it's different, you know. And same with your Boston thing.
I
Like
agree.
what other Boston tribute band is there? I don't even know another Boston tribute band around the area, at least.
Yeah, there's a friend of mine in Nashville that's got something, and there's maybe a few. There's one in Dallas, one in New York, a couple other ones, handful. You
Sure.
know,
Yeah, but I
what is
mean,
what else we
they're
got? Don't we have like 6 Motley Crue tributes in
well,
Minnesota?
yeah, I know. I was gonna say we should start one. And
Yeah,
it's just it's a
we
fine line to play with.
100%. Yeah, 100%. And there's I don't know. We decided very organically that this is what we were going to do. And we really didn't give a shit if anybody else liked it. We were getting
Right.
together in rehearsals and we were having a good time. And we already had chemistry as a group. And lo and behold, when we added a couple new members, the chemistry deepened. It was
Sure.
it was better, it was enriched. It really we had if you get 7 people, musicians no less, all drive in the same direction in a car. Like that it never happens.
No.
Someone flakes, but everybody's on board. So we did based on the fact that we had over 100 people show up for that gig instead of our usual 30 or 40. that was enough motivation to learn the second album in its entirety and then
Just
start
front to
work on the
back.
third album. Yep. So we
It's
learned
wild.
it when all is said and done, we'll have learned all four Boston albums almost in their entirety, almost because there's a couple of sleeper songs that you know we rather focus our energy towards.
Right.
Other
The bigger
the
stuff.
we're gonna do the strongest of the songs, but also include the transitions. Even if you've never heard the transition, you got to remember someone's at a live show. They're along for the ride, and the ride can't be pounding them in the head with hit after hit after hit. You
Right.
have to have some ebbs and some flows and some nuances to a live show that really make a big impact overall instead of trying to just force a bunch of hits on somebody. So
Yeah, and then
that's
the
the
high
goal.
yeah, and then the highs are higher and kind of have that roller coaster type of set to it. Yeah, that's good. When is the next show you guys have? Is it you guys have a couple coming
We
up?
have yeah, we have one at the Chart House, Brianna's Chart House in Lakeville.
Okay.
They have music. I guess it's a great venue. Like they have music there 4 or 5 nights a week.
Oh,
They
really?
really have a lot of music there. Yeah, they have you know, acoustic acts and solo acts and live band situations. They had a
I'm
Beatles
gonna have to write
tribute
that
for a
down.
couple weeks ago that actually the drummer from the Brianna's Chart House with they really have a big schedule of acts and stuff there. So that'll be Thursday, January 8th. And
Okay.
I think the show starts at 7ish and we'll play for a couple hours. It's kind of
Yeah.
a you could buy a ticket so you buy a ticket to the show and then
Sure.
it's you could buy dinner, dinner and a movie kind of thing.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should look into that.
So
Is it and it's like a restaurant? Was it like a winery
yeah,
or
it's
a West
called Briano's Chart House.
Okay. Yeah, it looks nice.
And it's Briano's Chart House in Lakeville. Briannos, I think.
Riano's.
It's cool. When you go to buy a ticket, they got little tables so you could pick out your seat, right at the
Yeah.
table. And,
Yeah,
you
I've done a
know,
couple of those shows, opening for a couple other bands and just some different dueling piano type stuff, and kind of like the
yeah,
dinner and like play with the dinner deal, and yeah, they're always fun. But I always get weird with ticketed shows, and because I don't do them a whole lot, it's a whole nother thing. Because it's like, oh, people are actually gonna pay to see this, It's a crazy thing to me. I don't know
yeah.
why. I was just not used to it, you know.
I got the first time it ever happened to me. I was like, I was blown away. I was asked to sub in for a band, and we did a sound check. So I thought it was kind of cool. This was kind of a Magoo moment for me, just But I've been rehearsing, and I knew the songs, and I was ready to play, and we did sound check, and everything was great. And it was a really high stage. I'm like, why is this stage so high? It was way up there, and I guess I didn't realize at the time soundtrack, but people's chests would come up to about here on the stage. It's really high stage, and certainly higher than what I was used to, at least in the
Sure.
bars and stuff. But we did sound check, and everything was good. You go grab something to eat, and go to the hotel room and change in our stage clothes. We got downtime and come back to the stage area, and we're in the green room in the back warming up, and we huddle up and say a quick prayer before we go out on the stage, and we walk out on a completely dark stage. And then the lights start coming up, and we're kind of easing into a song. And the drummer starts, and the drummer's he goes, "Give me a
Okay.
beat." He's give me, and it's sold out. There's
Shit.
heads. It's like a chest and heads as far as I can see back, and I don't know.
And that's all you can
Probably
see.
it was a lot of people. It's
Yeah.
like I don't know, the place held like 1,000 people or something,
Holy. Where was this place
and it was
at?
just packed. I couldn't remember any of the chords of the first song.
Damn.
It was
Where?
just
Yeah.
me.
Where was this at?
That was at the Q Casino in Dubuque, Iowa.
Dubuque, Iowa.
Q
Okay.
Casino.
Sure. I think I've
Yeah.
been there actually. Yeah. Because they got the fishing. It's like the fishing hall, or not the fishing hall of fame. Like a fishing something with a fishing, like a museum aquarium thing in Dubuque. I want
Okay.
to say it's pretty close to that
Yeah.
casino.
We went
But
there and we played a show, and it was like Kiss played the night before. We were playing on a Saturday, and
oh, really?
a
That's
Kiss
awesome.
tribute band played the night before, and there was blood all over the stage still. It's like blood from whatever they do. Gene Simmons
Sure.
coughs up some blood. Hey, that's
Yeah,
us.
I got your Facebook thing here. And, yeah, I'm looking back
Yeah,
right on
and
Facebook, on Instagram too. Oh
look,
yeah, there's your
yeah,
chart house January 8th.
yep, yeah, looking back dot band is the website. I guess there's a Lookin Back Bob Seger tribute, but lookinback.band is our website. We got cool stuff on the website, like you can link to all the shows and everything, but it's cool because we got little bios out there that we wrote,
Yeah.
and things like
The
that. So
band. All right, we'll go back to your website here. Yeah, I was looking at your shows, and
yeah,
yeah, La Music Room. That's a cool place, man.
yeah, it
And I
is.
see you're at the Pioneer Place too. I actually played there in the spring with Pandemic, and I think I
Yeah, I
remember
saw
talking
that.
about
I saw
that.
some footage from that.
That was a fun gig, man. That was really fun. That's a cool place.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Have you ever, prior to playing at Pioneer Place, have you ever seen an audience like elevated like that in that movie theater style seating?
Never.
Did that kind of blow your mind a little bit?
It was very weird, and
Yeah.
like I'm so used to people being on the floor, and it's like when you're looking up and you just see like people kind of, yeah, like at that vertical slope, and
Yeah.
half of them they're just just kind of sitting there watching. Usually people are dancing. I mean, people were standing up and stuff, but like, yeah, it's different. It's definitely like a
Yeah.
paid, like it was a cool experience, but it's not as lively,
Yeah,
you know.
that's how the Q Casino was for me. Everyone looks so different. I almost forgot what I was doing.
Well, I can imagine it. Yeah, because we came walking out, and yeah, I just remember everyone's just sitting down, just like staring, and you're
Yeah.
just like, hmm. It's just I get kind of awkward, but like you just do what you do. So
Yeah. We're trying to do different things, but so we're at the stage with the Boston project where you have us as the band, and we have someone who's fantastic. That's like we'll call him a production manager. He has many roles, but who's your light guy?
right,
We can bring in a light guy, and we can choreograph. I hate the word choreograph. We can choreograph a light show to like strengthen the performance, right?
mm-hmm,
But we're at that weird intermediate period where like maybe it just doesn't make sense for that budget or that venue to bring in our
sure,
own person. The house guy has somebody, but they also don't know the songs. So with three guitar players, if you're using the house sound guy, you're kind of at the mercy for them to be like, oh, who do I boost?
right. That is, yeah, it is hard.
Especially with Boston, we got 3-part harmonies and some stuff. So I bring not 9 guitars. 9. No.
Do a Boston trivia gig?
7. I've got
God
7. Yeah.
damn.
I got 3. Dude, you know what's cool about you is we can get as techie as you want.
Yeah, I know. I know. We can talk
Yeah,
shit for days.
I got 3 Les Pauls, and then there's 2 12 strings. There's a 12 string to wear, but some of the songs need a 12 string on a stand, and so we got one on the playing stand that's in the playing
Right.
position.
Yep.
And then we have a 6-string acoustic in the playing position on a stand, and then a 6-string that you can wear. And that's one of the things that we're hoping. You talk about things to differentiate you
Yeah.
from others. We want to replicate the nuances. I don't want an acoustic guitar simulator.
Right. It's easy to
I
do.
want,
Everyone does
yeah.
it, but
And we run all the acoustics through some post processing, because if you listen to Boston's acoustic tones, they had a mid scoop to them, a lot of compression,
yeah.
just a lot of chorus and some reverb. So we have them fairly wet in the mix, and they sound fantastic. The sound guy, a house guy, doesn't have to do anything with it.
Yeah, I remember what was it? Amanda. I remember learning that one.
Yeah,
And yeah, I love that acoustic tone.
right.
It's great. Yeah, I'm glad you're not doing the easy way, just throw it right on the, what are you using for your amp? Are you going digital, or are you using an
No, I'm
actual
using
amp?
all analog pedals.
You are, okay.
Yep. I go, well, but each one of us is a little different. Everybody's, Boston has this hyperspace pedal that, like, would
Sure.
make these amazing,
Crazy
cool
stuff.
sounds. So
Yeah.
my other guitar player, Jared Ortlip, is managing those kind of specialized sounds in there, and he does really well with it. And you could see the look on the audience's face when they know something's happening, because
Right.
they can hear it and they can see that he's doing something, and they
Sure.
really like it. But I can't explain how he does it, because it's unique. Like, he spends a lot of time with it, and
No, it's wild. Yeah, it
you
is a
know,
good way to separate. I mean, just visually too, because like for me, I'm trying to get better at that. But like for my gigs, I just bring one guitar. I just bring like my Strat, and it is what it is. But yeah, it is like cool to see like a cool tribute band who actually take the stage show to another level, and just adding a couple more guitars, can just swapping them out, even if you don't need to, but even just swapping them out, just
yeah.
that little change adds a lot. visually, you
It
know?
made a huge difference. We did, we when Generation Rock, we used to do Hotel California. I would bring out a white double neck.
Would you?
Yeah, I mean, just like I called it the Hotel California guitar. I mean, it's an
Yeah,
Epiphone version of the Gibson,
sure, but
but you
big
know
boy.
what? Guess what? We just saw Tesla, and they were fantastic. And guess what they were using? I mean,
Really? Okay.
yeah, yeah. Dave Rude's got his own signature line of Epiphones, and they're fantastic. But yeah, I pull out the Epiphone double neck guitar when we played Hotel California, and I would pull it out in Varsity Rejects when we would do. I think we were doing Patience,
Okay.
doing the Guns N' Roses Patience,
GNR, yeah.
and the same thing goes for a talk box. I am
Right.
not going to play Living on. I don't give a shit if Living on a Prayer is the only talk box song in the set. I'm not gonna go play a gig. I mean, if somebody can. Yeah, the audience doesn't care. I care,
Yeah.
but I would always bring a talk box to every Varsity Rejects gig and use it for maybe 3 or 4 songs. And it made a difference. People would be in the audience, be like, "What's he doing up there?" Like they're not guitar players. You bring out a double neck guitar, or someone's like, "What's going on?" Like it
Yeah, they're
catches
looking.
people's attention.
They're looking. What the hell is that thing? Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
What's about to happen? I don't know what's about to happen. Something's about to happen, and
Yeah,
then you
right.
have this, air of mystery of what's about to happen, and
Sure.
and then hopefully you play the song right.
Yeah, well, that's a whole other thing. Yeah, yeah, you can
Yeah.
visually look cool, but yeah, if you can't play, that sucks. But no, you got no
Yeah,
problem
yeah.
with that. And what guitar is that one now you're holding? Is that your
This is a 1960s Les Paul standard. I
That's a
want to
cool top.
say I think it's a 2000. It's a new one. I was mad at Gibson for a long time, but they kind of went back to basics. It's 11.7
God
pounds.
damn, dude. That's why I don't
It's
own one, man.
Well, no, like I picked this. Like I
Really?
I I sorted through a pile and picked the heaviest one they had.
Freaking
I have
wild.
2 other ones, but those are 9 pounds.
See, I'll even those are still heavy to me. A nine
Yeah.
pound guitar. I had a Strat, and it was 11 and a half, or no, it was a Telecaster. It was a newer Fender one, and it was 11 and a half pounds, and I sent it right back. I opened it out of the box, I picked it up, and I'm like, F this. I sent it, put it right in the back
Yeah,
in the box. It
man.
went right on the computer. It was printed out a shipping label, slapped right on the box, and I was out the door the same day.
Wow, that's amazing.
I just
Yeah,
can't
I
do it,
think
man.
there's something wrong with me, probably. I like to when I have downtime, I'm doing hard physical labor, moving dirt,
Yeah,
in the yard, or whatever. I'm always, so I move freight for a living. My day job is pushing freight around.
sure.
You know, but this is cool because like this is mine,
That
you know.
binding or the, oh, right there. Yeah.
I did that. I earned that wear mark.
Mm-hmm.
That they went back to the nitrocellulose
Yeah, I want they have a
finishes.
couple Charvels like that, and it has like that nitro finish, and it wears off a little bit quicker. And
Yeah,
everything is so heavy lacquered now. It's hard to earn those spots.
agreed.
It
I got a
sucks.
1994 Telecaster Plus, a Fender one. It looks brand new.
Yeah, I don't
I've
like it,
had it
man.
since '94.
I like the yeah, I mean, I know it's kind of frowned upon, but like with my Strat, I may have taken some sandpaper to it, but no
Yeah,
one needs to know.
I sanded the back of the fenders, the kind of the Sambora wannabe Strat. I sanded
Sure.
the back of that neck because I like the feel of it, and I always have. But
Yeah,
this one, I just trying to, I don't know.
break it
But
in.
yeah,
No, that's nice. Yeah, I tell myself I should probably get one down the line, but I don't know. I
dude,
just
I was a lot older when I got one.
well, it's funny. I borrowed my buddy Danny Jorgensen. Do you know him at
Yeah,
all?
I know
Red haired
Danny.
kid.
He's a great player,
Yeah, he's
sure.
awesome, man. And we were at one of the jams during COVID, and I remember he let me borrow his Les Paul to do a I
Yeah,
think it
yeah,
was Man in a Box, and he has a video of
yeah,
me
sure.
doing this, and I was playing, and then I went to go for the whammy bar because I'm always used to having a whammy.
Yeah,
And I grabbed the tremolo bar, and there's no tremolo bar, so he sees me, and my hand goes like like this, and I try to cover it back up, and it's so
yeah,
dumb.
right, right.
But yeah, I don't know. I should get one though. Yeah, it's cool. I went to Chicago Music Exchange back in October, and they have freaking Les Pauls for days there too. It's insane. Even that place in La
Yeah,
Crosse too is really cool. Just seeing all the old Les
I've
Pauls, and
never been to Dave's in La Crosse, but
it's cool, man.
I
It's
guess
worth the drive.
I know if I go, I'm gonna walk out with something, and I really overdid it, this year.
Why? Yeah, I
I
know.
mean,
And like you're
I
never
got Les
satisfied.
Pauls.
You're never
I got a
satisfied.
Marshall Plexi behind me.
Do you? Oh
Yeah.
man, and she's on. Yeah, I've no. That's one thing I've noticed is you're never happy. You know, as a musician with gear, you know, it's like
Yeah.
you're always you buy something new and you play it for like 2 or 3 months, and you're like, all right, I need something else, you know, and
Yeah. I
whatever.
think I make mistakes. I think, I'm like, I'm gonna want a pedal board for this, and then I end up not, I make the pedal board, and then I don't use it for what I intended to use it
Sure.
for, and then I thought the situation was gonna call for this, and it turned out I need that, and
And
you know,
the wife is okay with that, huh? I take that as a no.
we've been married and she for 34 years, and she still loves me, so I'm not gonna get in the way of that
No, that's
anymore
awesome. That's awesome.
with any guitars or anything.
Yeah, I always hear that
Yeah.
too with wives and stuff. That I always see all these memes like, "Oh, you just got to buy the guitar in the same color as your last one, and you'll never know."
Right,
Right?
right. Yeah. She's great, she puts up with a lot of stupid things that I come up with these ideas and she's like, she's really supportive.
Sure.
But the deal is I gotta for every guitar I buy, I gotta take her on vacation, which is fine because that's like, I get to go.
Yeah.
So it's like
Well, yeah.
it's
So why?
double
Okay.
for
Yeah,
me,
why
I
not?
get
Yeah.
a guitar and a vacation,
By buying like guitars
you
all
know.
day long, if that was the case.
Yeah.
Huh.
So,
Well, good man.
you should I don't know who else is on your list for podcasts, but there's some guys that like I'm so glad you had me on and I don't know where I'll fall in the sequence and when you release this, but I'll tell you this. When I graduated music tech in 93, I was like, if there was an award for mediocrity, like I won it. Like
Yeah.
I just wasn't even for music, I just didn't grasp it. It was so much stuff. I had such a hard time with it, but the real winners was like Jimmy Winoco
Oh,
and
dude.
Jeff Rutland
Mm-hmm.
and Brad Foss.
All those guys
Like
are on my list, man.
Jesus, man. I mean,
They're good.
Jeff was like well, Jimmy was from another planet. Like he was, I walked in and he was like doing the solo for Tooth and Nail, and
Yeah.
and it was intimidating because the congregation of where we would gather to hang out in between classes sometimes was in a room where they had a stage and they would do the guitar clinics,
Sure.
and the rehearsal space that Jimmy and his group were in were right next to it. So you can hear it through the wall. You just shred-alicious, man.
And
And
what
you
what
just
what year was that?
93.
So you've known those guys that long, huh?
Yeah, we all
Hmm.
graduated the same class of music tech. And Jeff Loven.
Yeah, he's good.
Jeff was an instructor there at that time, but the thing about Jeff is like, how many people could I say, and there's no one, but how many people could I say that are out there 100% making their way through life playing music?
Yeah, I know. And when I started my solo thing, I actually reached out to him, and he was kind of giving me some good pointers, and because I know he did it full time, you know, so he's full of
He's just a
wisdom, and he's a
great
good dude.
he's just a great man. He's walking around and he's got such a great performer and he sings all these songs and then he just takes off his guitar and he just puts it right over me while I'm sitting there, watching him play and he comes up from behind me and puts his guitar on me and it's just a B minor or it's an easy A or whatever it
Sure.
is and then he's like, "Go ahead, start soloing," and
The
then he'll keep you up there for a song.
the first time I seen Jeff Loven was I was in Hudson for whatever reason. I think it was my family's friends were they live there. We stopped in and there's like some chili fest was going on. Pepper
Yeah.
Fest. That's what it was called, Pepper Fest. And I hear this like organ or not organ. It was accordion or something like that. And
Oh, sure,
he's doing his
sure.
polka thing.
Yeah, the heavy
His
metal
heavy metal
polka.
polka thing. And I'm like,
Yeah,
who the
fantastic.
hell is this guy? You know, he's sitting there, heavy metal polka. I was like, oh, dude, this guy is freaking awesome. I remember going home and I looked him up and I think I followed him from that point on. And shit, that was
Yeah.
probably 12 years ago. But yeah, and then I reached out to him and yeah, he's talked to him on the phone a couple times too. And it's been super cool. But
He's a great guy, and when we were back in the day in music tech, he was just I'll call him like just boundless energy. He
sure,
was always on the move, you saw him in the hallway, always with a guitar in his hand, but he'd always stop and make room for you. If you had something to talk about or wanted to just say hi, he's just a great person. And the other person I mentioned too was so Brad Foss he was a guitar student.
okay.
He majored in guitar, but He graduated from music tech, which funny is Brad sang a song called Blind in Texas. We at the end of the year
Is that like
graduation, you had
Wasp
to.
Blind in Texas? Dude,
Yeah,
I played that for my 7th grade band final.
I love it.
7th grade, man. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
that was one of 5 songs on a demo tape I had to record in a studio for
That's badass.
to graduate. We did Highway Star, Van Halen's DOA, I'm Blind in Texas, and I don't remember the other 2 songs. Yeah.
That's
And I was
sweet.
trying we did like 12 takes. This again, the king of mediocrity. We did like 12 takes on the solo for Highway Star. I just couldn't get it. It just was
Some weird
ridiculous, you
timings
know.
and yeah. No, that's funny, man. Yeah, I remember playing Blind in Texas. I mean, I used to love that whole album, the Last Command or whatever.
Yeah.
And I remember listening to that like yeah, 6th, 7th grade. And yeah, I just remember watching that music video too because we had to do a band final, and everyone had to pick a song or perform or write something, and I'm like, I want to play Blind in Texas. I went in there and they have like that drinking scene in the song,
Yeah,
and
right,
he's
right.
just like, what? What? I just remember some kids were
Yep.
just looking like, what the hell is going on? But man, I was loving it. I was loving it.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, my favorite not really live album is Wasp Live, and I guess, there's, like, a ton of overdubs, the crowd noise is fake and, but that drum sound, the drummer's name on that live, in the Raw was Steve. I don't know if you know any of this, but Steve Riley. I
Okay.
think his name was Steve Riley, and I wanna say it was like a symphonic snare drum or something. There was something. I went down a deep rabbit hole because if you listen to Live in the Raw, my understanding of that recording is that the drums they kept all the drums. Everything that happened drum wise, they kept.
Hmm. Okay.
But they overdubbed and went back in the studio and overdubbed vocals and overdubbed some guitar parts and polished it and made it, produced. So it really wasn't live, but the drums were, and that drum sound, that snare is, I mean, that's what rock and roll is about. That's if you look up rock and roll definition,
That
there's a
snare
picture of
pops
that
up.
snare drum.
It was
Yeah.
funny, speaking of Wasps, the episode I did before this one was with Logan Stalker, and we are talking about Nashville, and he's down there. Do you know
Yeah.
Logan at all? A little bit?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, he's good shit, and we're buddies and kind of known each other for the last 10 years. But we were
I do have
talking.
a Stormbreaker story that's short.
Do you?
But go
Okay.
ahead.
But yeah, no, we were
Yeah.
talking, and we're talking about Nashville and country and stuff, and I think I brought up like the Grand Ole Opry, if he's ever went there, experienced it, and he's like, oh no, but I went to the Ryman Theater or whatever, and he's like, yeah, the only he's just saying like as far as shows go, he's like, yeah, the first show I saw was Wasp. That's when they went on their tour like last year. I'm
Yeah.
like, so you're in Nashville. And he's like, yeah, I've gotten away, or I gotten by with like not playing country. And I'm like, okay, that's badass. And he's like, yeah, then the first show I went and saw was Wasp. I'm like, that's even cooler, It's hilarious.
Right, totally.
It's totally out the
Yeah.
deep end.
He's a great player, and when we were when I was with All Out Saint, we spent a year recording a CD called Persistence Pays Off.
Sure.
And then you're tracking it and you're tracking things, and then you're tracking solos. This week we're gonna track bass lines, and then for a year it's nothing but just you're in a schedule of assembling sections of the
Mm,
and then when all was said and done and we did everything we possibly could on our own, we wrapped it all up in a bow and we handed it off to Wally Joseph
yeah.
to be
Mixed and
mastered.
mastered. Sure.
And he kind of and then Wally, Tank is very unique for vocals, and Wally is one of the only people I've known that really has a knack in recording him. And I think Tank feels very comfortable with Wally. So we sent all that off to Wally's direction with Tank to go finish the rest of it.
Sure.
And I needed something to like come down off of a year of nothing but just our own music. That's all we lived and breathed for over a year. So that I forgot the name of their album, but Stormbreaker just released an
Like
album
Strike the
around
Match or
that
something
time.
like that.
Yeah,
Maybe?
Strike the Match.
Okay.
Yeah, I listened to that thing cover to cover for like 4 weeks.
Oh,
Like
really?
every day, I listened to it constantly.
No, that's awesome.
And then Logan started to go on. So then I started following Logan on. So Logan probably doesn't know me, right? But I think
Sure.
Logan is great. And Logan may know me because I would have like commented about a 24 fret beautiful Les Paul
Oh
custom
yeah,
that he
yeah.
had,
He's
on social media or something like that. But I think he's fantastic, and he started to release some social media videos of him playing those solos,
yeah,
and
it's
I
awesome.
think he's great.
Do you know
Yeah, it was really good.
Billy Schlump at all? He was
I know that name, but I don't know
sure. So
where
I
I
think
know
so
that.
he kind of started Stormbreaker, and that was like his
Okay,
thing. And I'm really good buddies with him, and he's a huge like George Lynch fan too. We're very similar.
is he? That's
Yeah,
cool.
he's like a year older than me, but he's a shredder too. And he lives down in like the Plymouth area. But yeah, he just went on tour with like Buck Cherry, his this other band he's playing with. They opened for them
Yeah,
for like a month or two, and yeah, he's doing some cool stuff too. But yeah, it's yeah, Logan's a good dude though. He's yeah, I just had him on
I'm
actually
not
today,
too.
and
And the cool thing, I'm gonna kind of make this up a little bit. There's parts of it that I think really happened in my head, but when we ended up at some bike rally in an after really hot. Oh my god, it was so hot. And we were Outlaw Saint was gonna play maybe 4 or 5 songs or something like that. Maybe we were playing it's only like a half hour, 40, whatever it was short.
sure,
And then, Stormbreaker was on after us. And I remember Logan came out from the trailer that they had there behind the stage and came out and watched me play. He stood right in front of me, like 10, 15 feet away, and he just watched me play. And I knew who he was, and I knew that he was a great player. And I just in my head, I felt gratitude. That maybe he wasn't watching me at all. Like he maybe just, but I just felt like it was right there in front of me the whole time and he's watching me play. And I felt good about that. I felt like maybe I was actually bringing something to that table that he was interested in because Outlaw
yeah,
Saints had so many members
sure,
and so many different levels of players, not all of which were high caliber. It
yeah,
doesn't take for I don't mean to take from anybody. I mean, you're
sure,
having fun no matter what level you're at, but I felt like we had something really strong there musically.
yeah. But no, I think Logan would have been watching. I think we're all kind of watching all us younger guys.
Yeah.
Even if it's small, like it's still and like just like little things like come back to this, man. Like, just
Yeah,
little
yeah.
things like that. You have no
That's
idea,
cool.
just random stuff. But I should probably wrap this up here. I think I got
Yeah. Well,
enough
thanks,
time.
man. I'm so
Yeah,
happy
dude.
for you.
Thank you, man.
I'm looking forward to watching your other episodes. The first one was great. Hopefully it was nice getting to know you a little more here
Yeah,
and
of course. No, I have
you
to do
giving
this
me a
again.
platform to do the Boston shows,
Yeah,
to
where can
kind of
people find
close
you?
on the bus.
Where can people find you?
Yeah, well, real quick, we did that one venue where 100 people showed up instead of 30. Then we put tickets on sale for St. Michael, sold it out.
Awesome.
Then we did a show in Cambridge, and there's normally an average of a couple hundred people. They had 460 some people show up.
Damn.
Then we did it again, and then we played Tribute Fest, and I think Danny played right after us
Yeah,
with a tribute group that he was in,
Danny's
and
awesome, man. I love
it's
that guy.
just been so. Hopefully, I'll keep doing the Boston projects as long as we love to see the sold out shows. It's so fantastic,
Yeah, I know the one
you know.
time you asked me if I wanted to tech for you guys at the La Music Room, but if you ever need something like that too,
Yeah,
let
I
me know.
appreciate it. With 7 guitars, it's like,
It's a
you
lot.
know, because the humidities and everything changes in the night as the show goes on and we close. We're always trying to close with a big hit. And if I grab that 12 string and start playing it, it sounds like, out of tune.
Oh, there she is. Sorry, that might have cut out. Yeah, man. No, just keep doing your thing, and yeah, I gotta come out and see a show. I haven't yet. It's so hard to see other people's bands when you're also gigging. Just tough. No, that's awesome, man. Yeah, dude. Anytime. Seriously. Thanks, man. Well, I appreciate you. Thanks again, and yeah, let's do it again soon. Hope to see you around, man. All right, have a good one. Bye.